Welcome back. If you have a high school senior at home, you know this time of year can be most exciting and incredibly stressful. Kids are eager to find out which colleges they were accepted to. So how can your family navigate the many feelings they're having? Jennifer Wallace is the author of Never Enough: When Achievement Culture Becomes Toxic and What We Can Do About It. Jennifer, good morning. It's great to have you here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I mean, it's shocking how much pressure teens feel, and it starts actually far earlier than that. You write in your book, that is heavily researched, you said our kids are absorbing the idea that their worth is contingent on their performance, their GPA, the number of social media followers they have, their college brands, not for who they are deep at their core. I mean, it really has become like that. How do we emphasize what really matters with our kids?
Well, that's exactly right. I heard over and over again in my conversations that kids felt like their value was pegged to their GPA or their college brand. But for the book, I went in search of the healthy strivers, as I call them. I wanted to know what they had in common. What did their parents focus on at home? What was school like? And I get into it at length in the book, but it boiled down to this idea that the kids who were doing well, despite the pressure, felt like they mattered for who they were deep inside, away from their achievements and accomplishments. And I will tell you, mattering acts like a protective shield. So it's not as though they didn't have failures, they got rejected from colleges, but they knew that their worth was not pegged to these things.
Yeah, I mean, how do you define a healthy striver? How do you know if you have an unhealthy striver at home?
Well, I think you know. If your child is experiencing excessive social comparison, envy, and they don't have the tools to manage it, that is a big red flag. And those feelings really start to crop up around 7th grade.
Yeah.
As our kids are developing a sense of self. They're comparing themselves to others.
Well, it is college decision time, and not everyone will get their top choice. How do you navigate as a parent when a student is feeling disappointed that they did not get that acceptance letter they wanted?
Yeah, I think first we validate. We say these are hard feelings. It's hard to feel disappointed. But then we remind them that it's just temporary. And I also think it's important for parents. In my book, I interviewed lots of parents who were struggling themselves about the college. It could kick up a lot of big feelings. So as parents, we need to really manage our own emotions away from our kids so that we could be that source of support for them.
You also say it's important to remind your kids it's how you go to school, not where you go to school. What do you mean by that?
So there's so much research that backs this up, that it's not a college rank or the prestige that leads to later life career success and well-being, but rather it's what a student does on the college campus, how engaged they are. Do they have a professor that knows them personally? Are they involved in multi-semester projects and internships? Do they have a sense of belonging through club activities? So I think as parents, we need to shift the conversation away from where and more towards how to go to college to get the most out of it.
And if you've got a sophomore, junior, they're starting to think about it. I was just telling you during the commercial that even my 9-year-old mentioned something about it. I was shocked, but little kids who have big brothers and sisters or feel pressure from their parents might be thinking about this already. How do you kind of take the temperature down on that?
Well, they're getting it from every direction, as we talked about. They're getting it from their classmates, from social media, from the wider media. Home should be a haven from the pressure. Our kids already know that we want them to be a success. Let home be a place that our kids can recover, where their sense of self, their core, their sense of mattering and value is never in question. So at home, minimize criticism and prioritize affection. Let our kids see that we love them for who they are deep inside, not based on their accomplishments.
Yeah, and researching schools could be fun. It could be a bonding exercise as well.
It really should be looked at as a rite of passage. It's a way for our kids to get to know themselves and for us to get to know them deeply. So before those college brochures come on the scene, start having these conversations with your kids. What is it that you're looking for? Do you want to go to the kind of place where you're going to know most of the people on your campus? Or do you want to be meeting 4 or 5 new people every day? Do you want to be close to home, or do you want to explore a new region in our country? So these could be just interesting conversations. And really take note of how many times you say the word college in your house. Don't let the college admissions process steal these years away from you and your family. Enjoy your child. Let them enjoy these high school years. Yeah. You can't get them back.
Yeah, absolutely. Jennifer, thank you so much. Great advice. Hoda, over to you.
Yeah, it's a great conversation.